everybody, and welcome back. I am the Sovereign, and this is my court. Welcome to another edition of the Court Council, where we talk about news and social events outside of the other topics I handle here on my channel. Some of you asked if I had any input on the current situation or interview done with Oprah by Meghan Markle and Harry, Crown Prince of the Throne of England, and I do. And I'm very analytical, and I think I've dived a bit deeper than most people have, but I think that there are lessons to be learned here that people aren't realizing, so let's talk about it. First, for those of you who are not aware, who do not keep up with the royalty of the world or England, first, just to let you know, I am not a royal watcher. I could typically care less. I only knew about Meghan Markle because I was a diehard fan of the show Suits. You guys know I'm a political science major. I love law, so that was my show. So I was a fan of her long before she started dating Harry. But if you didn't know, Meghan Markle, former actress, started dating the second son of Princess Diana. He is not the heir to the throne, but he is the second son. And they eventually were married. While Meghan was dating Harry, she endured a lot of negativity, a lot of bullying, and we'll get into the expectations that come with being a public figure and what you kind of sign up for. I get that realm, but I just want to help you understand her backstory. She went through a lot, and now she's coming out and did an interview with Oprah explaining why she and her husband Harry split from the royal family. When you are in the royal family, you have royal duties, you do public appearances, you are very much a part of an organization. But Meghan and Harry decided they no longer wanted to be a part of this institution, which is also their family. So they not only broke with the institution, they broke with their family. There's been a lot of hard feelings, tons of headlines, and now Meghan and Harry have come out to speak. So the first thing I know I'm gonna have to really discuss, I'm a Black woman, is the racism that Meghan Markle talked about during the interview. Meghan Markle is a biracial woman. She is mixed with Black and white. She has a son, Archie, very cute. And during the interview, she said one thing that unnerved her severely was a member of the family who remains unnamed approached her husband, and they seemed a bit distressed about what their potential children would look like, being that Meghan is half Black. And they said specifically they were concerned about the color of Archie's skin tone. Whew. And obviously this is what strikes me is the fact that a lot of us Black people are constantly gaslit when we explain that these issues are rampant. People tell us we're making it up, we're being too sensitive, and then we have the performative activists, because a lot of people, including the royals, would probably say, oh, you know, we are very open, we are very diverse, we are very accepting. People want to say that they're very open and very accepting until their son or daughter brings home a dark-skinned person, a Black person, a person of a different religion, a different creed, a different belief. Everybody says they're so open and diverse until they become a member of your family, and then it's a problem. This is the performative activism that just irritates me. Everybody wants to say they're on the team until it impacts you personally. And it hurts my feelings, but I'm used to it. I'm used to it. I'm used to people always saying, oh, I'm so open, I'm so accepting, and then us finding out later that behind the scenes or to their friends behind closed doors, they were talking bad about Black people or saying, like, this is to be expected. But what really hurts us is that we know what's going on, but people gaslight us and say it's not a real thing. Like, I wish I could say I was surprised. I wish I could say I was surprised, but I'm not. Meghan endured horrendous bullying during just dating Prince Harry. There was an article that I read that showed the side-by-side comparison between how they treated Kate, the Crown Prince William's wife, Princess Kate, Duchess Kate, okay? The way they treated Kate, there was this thing with like avocados, and they were saying, oh, Kate loves avocados and she's been using it and it's very nourishing, very positive article about Kate and avocados. Meanwhile, they posted or published this article about Meghan saying that she was endangering the welfare of the environment and the plant, and how dare she enjoy and indulge in avocados. Like, everything that Meghan did, everything that Meghan touched, everything about Meghan was always bad. And her husband saw this, and Meghan felt this. Like, no matter what she did, the media was against her. And during the interview, she was saying the crown would not protect me. The institution would not protect me. They would not help me. And in this interview, Meghan confessed that she reached the point of feeling like she just couldn't take it, of feeling like she just didn't want to be around. She didn't want to live anymore, and she was afraid to be by herself. And thank God she had the confidence to be able to confide in Harry. And this video ties in very nicely with the video I just did about the women that I talk about in pageant world being able to speak out. This is very important, and this is a very good example of why this is important. And let's dissect this a little bit. When you enter an institution of power, regardless of what it may be, you could be a pageant queen, you could be entering into the institution of the throne of England, you could be a politician. When you enter into any type of place like that, you're entering in a box of expectations that people are going to put on you. Understanding Meghan knew what she was getting into, and to some extent, she was willing to endure what was necessary for her to be with the person that she loved. I know a lot of people watching this, we all have dreams, we all have hopes, we all kind of fantasize what it would be like to be in like Meghan's position, or somebody of authority or privilege or power. Everybody fantasizes like, oh, I wish I could do this. But you really have to understand the sacrifices that these people make in order to live the lives that they have. Yes, it seems pretty. Yes, it seems like it's all glitz and glam. But in Meghan's example, when you enter into any institution like that, but specifically like the crown, there are certain privileges and freedoms you no longer get. Meghan can't dress however she wants. She can't speak on whatever she wants. She can't speak the way she's used to. She was forced to give up her job, the life that she was living, her entire country. Though her life seemed fabulous, there was a lot of sacrifice on her end that she had to endure. And this goes for anyone in a position of so-called privilege or power. You may see me here on YouTube, and it may seem beautiful sometimes, and it may seem like a lot of fun. You guys don't see the sacrifices that I have to make. You did not know that when I was filming the red carpet event for the Philippines, or some of my Charlie Gold videos, that I had COVID and I was sick when I was doing it. You didn't see me sitting outside of the library at 1 o'clock in the morning because I didn't have Wi-Fi and someone tried to steal my laptop, and I had to fight the guy in the middle of the night to get my laptop back.
Library, and my library is closed, but I'm sitting out here trying to get this video up because I'm that dedicated.
Like, there is so much of sleepless nights and things that people have to go through, and people, all you see is this glitz and glam, and it's so pretty, and you don't see the sacrifice and how that can weigh on some people. And like I said, there's a bit of endurance that you have to have if this is the life you want to live. But the box that you are forced to live in can sometimes be too small, too restricting, and the weight and expectations that people put on you become too heavy. It gets to the point where Meghan, living in this box, she's not able to be who she is. She's not able to breathe. She's only living half of herself. And I think she started to feel that when she's saying, oh, I just felt like I couldn't tolerate it anymore. It's because when you're not allowed to speak or be who you are, you don't feel free. And also, there's this expectation that you will tolerate any abuse that is given to you silently. You have to take it all. And Meghan was getting berated. She was getting beat down. In the tradition of the Crown of England, they are very silent. They do not speak. They say nothing. So she was expected to endure the abuse. And I know some of you are hearing the correlation between what I'm saying now and what I said about the pageant queens being forced to endure abuse. And this is why you see me caution the queens being so silent, because when you remain silent and you remain in that box, the box is only ever going to get smaller. When you adhere to these very strict expectations, you leave yourself no wiggle room, which means anytime anybody steps outside of the box, the world is going to explode. I mean, people are going to lose their minds because they're not used to you stepping outside the box. When Meghan is speaking out and saying, hey, this bothers me, because the rest of the royal family never steps out and speaks up about anything. The royal family says nothing. They don't stand up for themselves or each other. They say nothing. Their box is very small. So Meghan stepping even a teensy weensy bit outside the box freaks everybody out, because nobody ever does that. No one ever goes outside of the box. When you allow these expectations to be placed on you and you tolerate it, it only constricts you further. The expectations only get worse, which is why I tell the queens it's very dangerous to allow yourself to be restricted to such tight measurements. It gives yourself no wiggle room to breathe, and it can drown you. It can feel like you're choking. And this is an example of potentially what can happen when you beat somebody down so far. Meghan got to the point where she's like, I can't breathe, like I can't live this way. And she terrified poor Harry, her husband. And this is an example of the positivity that comes from speaking out. Had Meghan adhered to this strict standard of being silent, she may not be here today. Had she not had the confidence to tell the person she loved, I need help, like, help me. She went to the queen, she went to the people in the family, she told them, she spoke out for herself. And when they didn't listen, her husband had her back and she had her own back and decided, you know what, I'll stand up for myself, and that's fine. And if you go and watch my confidence video, mandatory watching, I have told everybody you need to watch that video. If you've seen the confidence video, I told people in this journey to confidence, there's going to come a point where it's very likely you're going to have to stand up against your own family members, because sometimes those are the people bringing you down. Just because you love them does not mean that they can't be toxic. And this is something Harry was talking about in his interview. He's like, you know, I felt trapped because he had been living in this institution where he couldn't be himself. He had no room to breathe, no room to do anything he wanted to do, and he even felt trapped. And luckily, both of them had each other and had the strength to decide, we love our family, but we're going to love you guys from afar. And they moved to a totally different country, and now they're speaking out about it. And yes, right now they're getting a little bit of backlash because what they're attempting to do is widen the box, change the expectations that people have for them. Because now that Meghan and Harry have finally spoken out, it's not going to be surprising if they ever speak out again, right? They are changing the expectations and the standards and the length and width of their own box so that they are able to live and to breathe freely. And in the interview, Harry was telling everyone, he's like, I can finally be free. Like, I feel like I can live, but you have to understand that my father, my brother, they're still stuck in that box. They still have the weight of all of those expectations in this itty bitty little living space, and they have no freedom. And like I said, this exactly correlates with the video when I was telling the queens, like, you cannot not speak up, because the more you keep silent, the more you try to constrain and restrict yourself to this tiny little expectation box that people place you in, it's going to destroy you, because it's going to become, eventually it's going to be a place that is so small you can't live in it. It can be very scary at first. And of course, you're going to get an adverse reaction when you are doing things differently from the expectations that people have for you. But when you begin speaking out, when you begin standing up for yourself, when you begin to change things and do things differently, eventually people are going to come to terms with the new equilibrium and standards that you have set. But it takes work on your behalf to change the expectations and to change the box. That's why I make sure that I balance my channel out with different types of content. Sometimes you're not going to see me completely bubbly and happy. Sometimes you're going to see me speak about important issues. Sometimes you're going to see me be totally wacky. Sometimes you're going to see me upset. It's very important that I set the standard for the expectations I present here on my channel. It's important that I control my own box and I don't allow the public to suffocate me with the weight of their own expectations and be upset when I'm not able to conform. And I will use myself as an example because I think it's easier for people to understand things when you're saying it from a, first person perspective from where I am living. Because as a YouTuber, I was very free. I felt very free up until I hit 17K. I remember exactly what video I was making when I started to feel the expectations of the people watching me, when I started to feel the box closing in on me, I had presented myself on YouTube in a way that people were interpreting me to be a very innocent, girly, feminine, like happy person, which I am. I think at this, like, hello. At this point, most people know, like, I am ridiculously happy and nice 80% of the time. But the perception of me on YouTube at that time was this like perfect little pristine angel, like can do no wrong. And I knew that that was dangerous. I felt the weight of the expectations in the box that they were putting me in, because that means if I stay in this box and I adhere to their expectations, the moment that I deviate from their expectation of me, people are going to lash out at me. The moment I show a different side of myself that they've never seen, they're going to lash out at me. And that terrified me. And if you were around during that time, I purposely released the fertilizer fields, the kiwi video. I purposely released that video, which was very vicious in nature. It was justified, okay? It was justified. But it was very vicious because I needed to destroy the box that people were putting me in. I did not want to have this false persona of this very angelic little baby princess, and then people turn on me as if I'm some sort of liar the moment they see me change or show a different perspective of my personality. It has been very important to me to show the different aspects and viewpoints of my personality so that people understand who I am as a person. I never want to come off as a liar. I never want people to be like, oh, she lied about who she is, or she puts on this fake persona for YouTube. I do this for my own protection and for the protection of the channel in the future, so that no one can ever come out of the woodwork and say, oh my gosh, you're so different, or you've changed, or you lied about who you are. I present everything about who I am so that I am never going to surprise people with what I do. If you fully understand that sometimes I am very girly, sometimes I'm very sensitive, sometimes I'm very wacky, sometimes I can be a little bit vicious or ferocious with justification, sometimes I can be a little smart, I can be a little bit sassy. As long as I show everything that I am, there's not going to be any surprises, or I'm not going to suddenly and surprisingly step out of a box of expectations that people have for me. I'm always going to be able to exist within the expectations that I've set for myself, and there will never be problems with that. As there have been with some of the pageant queens, they post a sexy picture and then people go off and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. And it's because you've never seen her do it before, but that doesn't mean that that's not who she is. Now, going back to Harry and Meghan. Harry had been living in that box his entire life. He knew what was expected. That box was never big enough for Meghan. Honestly, it really was never going to be big enough for Meghan. Though she tried to make herself as small as possible and change the way she dressed and the way she spoke and the way she behaved, Meghan never conformed to what the public thought a royal should be. Meghan was American. Meghan was divorced. Meghan was half Black. They never, ever accepted her into the box. She was never going to fit. Though she tried her damnedest to make the public happy, it was never going to work. And that's another thing that people can take from this. Changing yourself to please others is only going to destroy you in the end. You are doing yourself no favors and trying to conform and be something you are not. And Meghan said it herself, had she continued down the path that she was on, it's very likely she would not have survived. You cannot live being half of who you are. You cannot exist with only half of your heart, half of your breath, half of your being. You won't survive that way. Though she was willing to make the sacrifices necessary to get what she wanted and have the love she wanted, sometimes it's not enough. And I really do want even the young people to really understand, a lot of people have dreams and hopes in this world, but understand the sacrifice that people have to make to get wherever you want to be in life, whether it be politician, whether it be a celebrity, whether it be a YouTuber. Being a YouTuber means giving up a lot of your privacy. It means living under a microscope. There's a lot of expectations. Even the pageant queens, a lot of them know what they're sacrificing when they get into it, but I've said before in other videos, my position and their position is different. They only live under a microscope for a year. As long as I'm on YouTube, I am giving up pieces of my privacy, which I am willing to take those sacrifices. It doesn't bother me so much, but I'm willing to share certain parts of my life without having as much privacy as other citizens might. I share a lot of my family. I share a lot of who I am. I open myself up to ridicule. I have sleepless nights, editing issues, money problems. And those of you who think we're making a lot on YouTube, no. Everything you want in life is going to come with sacrifice. This also includes Meghan's freedom. In order for Meghan to live and be free and be happy, she and Harry lost their titles, their royal duties, responsibilities, money, and family. They had to give that up. There is sacrifices on both ends, but it does seem like they are happier for it. I remember in the previous video, I was talking about the pageant queens and how a lot of them may be afraid of the backlash or, what people are going to say about them if they do choose to speak out or say something or do something that's outside of their normal box. Understand that these are birthed legacy royals that we're talking about. These are the people, the royals that are in the history books. These are the true royals that the pageant community was originally based off. These are the actual royals. And let's be completely honest here. Yes, they are royals. They have titles. The Queen of England is the Queen of England. But to be totally honest, what respect do you truly have for any of the royalty currently living? What true impact do any of the royals really have? They're only royal because they are birthed, but they have done nothing to earn my respect. And I'm bringing this up to say this. I know a lot of the queens may be afraid to lose a crown or a sash or a title or whatever, but we have to come to the realization that it's not the crown that's important. It's not the jewels that are important. The reason the queens want the title so much is because they want to be a part of a legacy that means something. They want to be a part of that dynasty. They want to have a lasting impact. That's what the queens truly want, is that legacy. And having that legacy does not require a crown. And Meghan just showed us all that. Meghan and Harry have just shown everybody you can have this impact, you can have the notoriety, you can still be that influence and honestly be more impactful than the people with the crowns without having one yourself. Harry will not inherit the throne. Meghan will never be queen. But they are currently the world's favorite royals. They have done the world a service in speaking out, and they should be very proud of themselves for speaking out. And I hope that they are living a wonderful, happy life. They deserve it. They truly deserve it, because this is a great example to show everybody, being famous or having money isn't everything. There are sacrifices that you are just not going to be willing to make. And honestly, you can be happy without those things. And it is important for you to speak out in defense of yourself and your loved ones. And sometimes it's appropriate for you to speak against even your own family members. There will come a time and you have to be willing to go there if it is necessary. Having all the money and power in the world is not worth giving up your sanity, who you are, your life. It's not worth that. What matters is the legacy you leave behind and the reputation people have for you. The reputation that you maintain for yourself. I have done a lot on YouTube. I've spoken out against people. I have been rambunctious. I have been loud. Sometimes I have been vicious, but it was all for a justification that I felt was correct. And so whenever I received backlash for whatever I did, I never really cared. The reputation that I have now, I'm okay with, because I built it for myself, and I was happily able to grow the channel to 50,000 subscribers being me, instead of holding myself to the box that people wanted me so desperately to be in. When I first started YouTube, they wanted me to just be like a dainty little perfect little angel princess and never speak out about anything important, or never get angry, or never say anything of worth or meaning. People get upset if I post a bikini photo or if I'm having fun with my mom. They get so upset and they want me to be in this box. But if you don't take anything else from the Meghan and Harry story, if you're not learning from them, learn from me. I have been able to exist on YouTube and continue to grow the channel being the weirdo that I am. Like, it is so touching. Like, now that I've reached 50K, it's so touching to realize that I've been able to be true to who I am and all of the weirdness that I've put out. And 50,000 of you looked at me doing all that I've done and said, you know what? I like her. And you hit the subscribe button. You hit the subscribe button after seeing me fangirl over countless pageant queens and throw markers across my house and dance in my apartment without pants and play in my my pleasure clear stripper heels. Like, you have rocked with me through illness. You have rocked through with me during my worst week ever in my life. Like, I've uploaded videos where my face was visibly swollen and nobody caught it. But you guys have been through that, all that with me, and you still chose to subscribe. So let that just be a lesson to everybody. All the queens, all the people, all the courtiers, everyone. You can be who you are and you don't have to suffer for it. You do not have to conform to the expectations of others, no matter what position you may be in. Whether you be a pageant queen, whether you be just a woman trying to live your life, you don't have to live in that box. You can build your own box. I built my own kingdom. If I can build this, build whatever world you want and live in it. And let them be mad. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. Meghan and Harry are fun in the sun in California, living on the beach with their beautiful child, bringing a baby girl into the world, living a happy life. The royals are rolling and they're upset. Do Harry and Meghan look like they care? They look like a happy couple to me. They look like a happy couple to me. Look, I exploded my box. I am living totally free here in my own happy kingdom with at least 7 crowns at this point. People are mad at me for it. Some people are mad at me for it. Some people think I should not have the audacity to sit up here and have my own kingdom. But I do. But I do. I have my own kingdom, my own crowns, my own happy friends, and we all hang out in the Discord and chit chat together. And I'm happy. I have my own box and I don't care who's upset about it. In fact, I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm gonna make the kingdom so much bigger, and hopefully you guys all stay with me on that journey. And I'm very appreciative that I'm in a place where people accept me for who I am. It's honestly very freeing. It's very comfortable for me. I love it. I love it. Like, going through all that I've been, like, you guys have seen me without makeup. You've seen me through so much stuff and you're still here and it feels great. And hopefully everybody's able to reach that point in their life where they free themselves and get to live the way they want to live. I highly suggest watching the confidence video because that will help you on your journey, whatever journey you may be on, whatever box you're trying to get out of. Watch the confidence video. And yes, I am going to make a video about how to deal with trolls because people asked me to and I said that I would. So I am going to do that. But I thought it would be important for us to take a look and some lessons from Meghan and Harry, showing us how to speak out, speak up for themselves, do what is right, and be at peace in their life. In the comment section below, let me know what you think of this entire situation. Are you one of the royal watchers? Have you been watching this development? Have you been seeing what's going on? Are you new? Did you not know what was going on with Meghan and Harry? Do you just not care? Just sound off in the comment section below. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. And remember, I truly do love you guys. We've come so far. I love you and I'll miss you, but you know I will be back in a future video. Bye.